This is Shani Kings, and in my dreams, my body looked like hers. She's my favorite fitness influencer. I don't say that with bitterness or self-hatred. I say it because it's true. She's physically magnificent. She's strong, charismatic, disciplined, clearly devoted to her craft. When I see a woman like that, something in me reacts immediately. I want that body. I want that visible strength and form. Then reality enters and settles. So she's younger than me, she's professional, her life is built around training, physique, performance, recovery, nutrition, and a level of precision that is not my daily reality. Her body is not the result of casual consistency. It is the result of a completely different biological, professional, and lifestyle equation. These are not excuses. These are facts. And still, the comparison happens. I know the usual advice out there. Don't compare yourself. Focus on your own journey. Everyone is different. You're unique. I understand the intention behind it, but I don't think comparison disappears because someone tells us to stop doing it. If you are aware of yourself, you compare. If you still care about growth, you compare. If you're still interested in what your body can become, you compare. The question is not whether comparison appears. The question is what it does to you once it appears. That became the usual distinction, the useful distinction for me. Shani Kings is my source of knowledge and inspiration. Her technique can be useful. Her discipline is impressive. Her body is beautiful evidence of what high-level commitment can produce. I respect that without pretending her equation is my equation. That was the shift. She can teach me a lot, but she cannot orient me. Because orientation is different from admiration. Admiration can be broad. You can admire strength wherever you see it. Discipline, precision, intensity, athleticism, skill, that is healthy. It keeps your eyes open. Orientation is more intimate. It shapes your standards. It becomes the invisible measuring line behind your effort. That is where comparison becomes powerful and dangerous at the same time. Because if the wrong person becomes your coordinate, you can improve and still feel behind. You can train seriously and still feel inadequate. You can make progress and still feel as if you're falling and failing. Because the image in your head belongs to a different body, a different age, a different profession, and a different life structure. That is where comparison stops being inspiration and becomes distortion. And this is why some fitness inspiration does not motivate you. It gives you a standard that does not belong to your actual life. This is why Dr. Stacy Sims became so important to me. She became my North Star in this stage of my recomposition journey. Not fantasy inspiration, biologically relevant, age relevant, strong, intelligent, successful, realistic. I aspire to her strengths and body composition because that aspiration feels connected to the truth of my own body now. She gives me better coordinates. And I want to be very clear about this. Better coordinates do not mean softer standards. This is not about lowering the bar because I'm in midlife. It is about choosing a bar that belongs to the terrain I am actually standing on. For me, that terrain includes changing hormones, different recovery rate, different sleep patterns, different stress load, different time availability, and a body that still needs to be trained seriously if I want to stay capable. Dr. Stacy Sims speaks directly to that terrain. Heavy lifting, muscle maintenance, adequate protein, sprint work, bone health, recovery, physiology. No passive decline dressed up as acceptance. That matters to me because I do not want midlife advice that quietly prepares me to become smaller. I want standards that demand something from me, but at the same time demand it intelligently. This is where comparison becomes very useful. A good comparison does not drive you into frustration. It gives you direction. It sharpens your choices. It makes you ask better questions. What kind of strengths do I actually want? What kind of body composition is realistic for the stage of my life? What kind of training supports the future I say I want? Who is giving me aspiration that expands me without pulling me into fantasy? Those questions are much more useful than pretending comparison should disappear altogether. Well, because it will not. Humans use reference points all the time. We look around constantly. We notice who seems strong, capable, who seems alive in their body, who carries the kind of energy we want more of. The mature move is not to close your eyes. That is for sure. The mature move is to become more deliberate about who you keep looking at, especially in midlife. Because by this stage, many women are already carrying old reference points that no longer work for them. The body from 20 years ago, the woman with no comparable responsibilities, the professional athlete, the fitness influencer, the younger version of themselves who could undereat, overtrain, sleep badly, and still look super fine. Those coordinates create noise. They keep you emotionally busy without making you physically stronger. And I do not want to waste energy on that. I listen and I look at Dr. Stacy Sims and I say to myself, this is the direction I can actually organize my life around. This is a cleaner comparison. It gives me aspiration without self-rejection, standards without fantasy, a map that makes sense for the body, age, and a life I actually have right now. I want to add that comparison did not disappear for me. I just became more careful, I guess, about who I allow to shape my direction. Because the body you build in midlife is not shaped only by effort. It is shaped by the standards you keep returning to, the examples you keep absorbing, and the women you quietly choose to follow when nobody is forcing you to choose them. And once those coordinates become clearer, the next question becomes physical. What standard am I willing to train for, expose myself to, and prove through my body? That is where comparison stops being a thought loop and becomes direction. And that, for me, is where the real work begins.